Hi, my name is Garrett Norvell. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on the new Track 1 by Native Instruments. This was released in May of this year, and I'm finally getting around to spend some time playing around with it, prompted by a competition from Native Instruments and Metapop. The gist of the competition is to design a rough sketch of a song, not a complete song, within 30 minutes using nothing but Track 1. The prize is a Complete Control S49 keyboard, which I have been dreaming about for the last couple of years. So I spent most of yesterday playing around with it, discovering its strengths and limitations, and deciding on which samples and sounds I would want to use for my sketch. I then spent 30 minutes, and only 30 minutes, cramming notes and automation in as quickly as I could. I'll play the entire sketch at the end of this video, but in the meantime, I first offer up a review and walkthrough of how I used multiple instances of Track 1 and only Track 1 to craft this sketch. My initial thought was to do a down-tempo indie electro version of a jazz standard that I really love. I settled instead on a frenetic 160 BPM pace and a song with a lot of energy that I think really highlights and lets shine the bass management of Track 1. Here we go. Track 1 is a multi-oscillator synth, a sampler and sequencer made for balancing punchy kicks and powerful bass and sub-bass. I like the well-organized layout. There's a header on the top with settings for tuning, timing, as well as copy and paste functions. A kick engine on the left side, a bass engine on the right, a drop-down panel revealing effects for each. Separate sequencers for the kick and the bass. Each can save up to 8 patterns, and each pattern can have up to 4 pages. Each page can have up to 16 steps. A master panel drops down, revealing controls for delay, reverb, low-end enhancer, and compressor. My first track on this sketch, track 01 if you will, started with a subby preset, which I tweaked a little, edited some sequences, and ducked to taste. I used a fairly stock preset for some stabs that will run through most of the track because they just sound good. You can explore all the different sound variations that come pre-designed in each preset. You can also switch between sounds using MIDI notes. C1 through G1 for the kick sounds, and C3 through G3 for the bass sounds. A color-coded Complete Control S49 would make that job much easier. Wink wink. The automatic tuning and timing functions allow you to meld presets together with your project key signature and tempo. The easiest way to start customizing a preset is to simply add or remove some of your own sequence steps. On the bass side, you can also add hold notes, which just hold a note over. You can also add new patterns, new pages, or copy one page or pattern to another and then edit that. You can switch from one pattern to another using MIDI notes, C2 through G2 for the kick, and C4 through G4 for the bass. I also used a fairly stock preset for a little ARP that runs the length of the track. But to make it a little more interesting, I ghosted the kick to create a sidechain compression effect. The very handy built-in ducking envelope will actually automatically respond to the kick sequence and attenuate any parameter of the bass that you want to modulate. My main melodic element uses an LFO to modulate the wave shape, the pitch of a ring modulator, and the filter cutoff. Another easy way to change the sound of a preset is to just choose a new sample for either one or both layers of the kick engine. There are lots of stock samples, and you can even add your own if you wish. I dropped a hi-hat sample onto layer A and dropped a little hi-hat roll onto layer B. Programmed some sequences, and then added step locks to alternate between the two layers. For my open hi-hat track, I dropped a couple samples onto layers 1 and 2, blended between them using the fader, and then adjusted the attack of the amplitude envelope. Opening up the effects rack, I removed a lot of the low end from my clap track so that it wouldn't muddle up my kick and sub, and then I added a small high-end boost. I also added some distortion and blended the mix. In addition to the sampler, the kick engine has a built-in synth oscillator, as well as some neato rumble and noise generators, which I use to fill in some background space. And what modern dance track is complete without some vocal chops? So I chopped up a vocal sample, dropped a couple onto one instance of track 1, and dropped another couple onto another instance. Opening the effects rack, I sent signal to reverb and delay. Opening the master panel, we can adjust the controls for each of those effects. And while we're here, we can add some compression to help the chops stand out. Then I spent a bit of quality time with my transitions by automating pitch shifts and filter cutoffs at key points. I also used the step lock function to edit specific steps within the melodic track. This is a powerful tool that transiently holds or changes any given parameter you want, even while automation curves are creating more gradual, overarching evolution of the sound. I will admit I was unable to figure out how to unlock steps without reinitializing the plugin. I'm probably just glossing over something simple, but every click and key combination that I tried failed. So please let me know in the comments or by email if you have a solution. With my 30 minutes running out, I quickly added a couple effects sounds to punctuate my drops. As much as I would have liked to add some compression and limiting onto the master channel, I resisted the urge and respected the rules of the game, only using track 1 plugin. So, closing thoughts. Native Instruments could easily have made this a very straightforward side-chaining sub and kick engine, but instead track 1 is a robust and versatile plugin. I will say, however, that it is not the right tool for every job. As mentioned previously, I was going to make a moody jazz standard with lush chords, and I did sort of force it to work, but was unable to make it work well or easily. First, I tried using 3 or 4 instances of the same sound to create chords. However, I'm a simpleton, and before hearing what a chord sounds like, I rely on the appearance of MIDI notes to tell me how those notes are going to interact with each other. Additionally, I haven't found a way to preview a sound within track 1 without playing the project. I made a second attempt playing the chords on an external software instrument, bouncing and chopping the chords, dropping those audio samples onto an instance of track 1, thinking that each of the 8 sounds could hold a different custom sample. Sadly, this is not the case. It required 8 different instances of the plugin to make it happen, just for the chords. Working, yes. Elegant, nope. Nonetheless, track 1 is an extremely cool plugin, and I plan on exploring it further. Here's my contribution to the sketch competition, titled simply Sketchy. Let me know what you think and pick up a trial of Native Instruments track 1 to see how it fits into your workflow. Cheers and blessings.